Forget Bugatti, forget the SSC Tuatara. Everything you knew about top speed until today is already history. While the Americans and the Europeans were busy arguing over whose gasoline engine roars the loudest and burns the most fuel, a completely new player quietly rolled onto the track. It just tore the record book to shreds, humiliated the old guard, and forced the entire automotive world to hold its breath. And you want to know the craziest part? This car does not have a single drop of gasoline in it. It has no gearbox. And it does not produce a furious exhaust roar. Today we are talking about the machine that is absolutely tearing my comment section apart right now. Welcome to a new era. This is the BYD Yangwang U9 Xtreme, the electric monster that just officially destroyed the kings of speed. For the entire past week, you guys have been storming my last video. I told you about the epic battle between Bugatti and SSC, about massive 16-cylinder engines, and the magical 300 mph barrier. But thousands of you kept writing the exact same thing to me. You said gasoline is dead, the king has been overthrown, and the future is already here. And you were absolutely right. To understand why the Yangwang U9 Xtreme has caused such massive hysteria on the internet, you need to realize one thing. For over 100 years, the recipe for extreme speed has remained exactly the same. You take a massive chunk of metal, you pour highly explosive fuel into it, you bolt on gigantic turbochargers, and you pray that the entire structure doesn't melt from its own extreme temperatures. Bugatti spent hundreds of millions of dollars just to ensure their engine wouldn't explode under maximum load. SSC spent a decade making their engine operate at the absolute limits of physics. Accelerating a gasoline-powered machine to over 300 mph is a brutal fight against nature itself. The air becomes as thick as concrete, the engine suffocates without enough oxygen, and the mechanical components are literally trying to tear themselves apart. And then comes the giant technology corporation, BYD. They looked at Bugatti, they looked at SSC, they looked at all their radiators, gears, and overheating turbos, and they said, we are going to do the exact same thing, but we will do it with math, magnets, and software. The Yangwang U9 Xtreme is not just a car. It is a supercomputer on wheels. When this electric rocket rolled onto a test track in Germany and effortlessly laid down a verified speed of 308 mph, the entire industry froze. This was not just a victory over the SSC Tuatara. It was the absolute uncompromising destruction of the legendary Bugatti Chiron Supersport record. And here is exactly why this car is dividing the internet into two massive camps right now. Electric motors possess a fundamental, almost unfair advantage when it comes to raw, brute force. A gasoline engine needs time. It needs to build up revolutions, inhale air, mix it with fuel, and detonate it inside the cylinders. An electric motor delivers 100% of its crushing power the exact millisecond you press the pedal. The U9 Xtreme utilizes individual motors for each wheel, generating horsepower numbers that make classic hypercars look genuinely slow. But the most important factor is that electricity does not care about the atmosphere. When a Bugatti is flying at nearly 300 mph, its engine is desperately fighting for every single gulp of air. BYD does not need air. It only needs battery discharge. It pierces through the invisible wall of aerodynamic drag with ruthless, silent efficiency. However, electric power has its own deadly enemy, and how the engineers at BYD conquered it is a genuine miracle. Batteries are incredibly heavy. The U9 Xtreme weighs significantly more than a featherweight like the SSC Tuatara. At nearly 300 mph, that extra weight turns the wheels into ticking time bombs. The centrifugal force is trying to rip the rubber straight off the wheels, and the gigantic mass of the car crushes them into the asphalt so hard that the tires should instantly turn to dust. The fact that BYD managed to create a rubber compound capable of surviving this monstrous torque without exploding into pieces is a masterpiece of modern chemistry. And keeping the battery pack from overheating when it is dumping thousands of amps of energy to sustain that top speed is harder than cooling a nuclear reactor. And this is exactly where the real war begins, the one I am watching unfold in your comments. Is this a fair record? The automotive purists are in a state of absolute fury. They are screaming that a true hypercar must have a soul, that the fear, the deafening noise, the violent vibrations, and the primal mechanical brutality of a burning engine are exactly what make a top speed record great. When a pilot drives a Bugatti, he is taming a living, fire-breathing dragon. When you drive an SSC, you feel every single explosion happening right behind your spine. Fans of the classics are calling the BYD a soulless microwave. To them, setting a record in an electric car is like playing a video game on the easiest difficulty setting. You just press the pedal to the floor, the smart computers distribute the traction, and the car does all the dirty work for you in absolute silence. On the other side are the people looking straight into the future. They rightly point out that motorsport and speed records have always been about finding an unfair advantage. The entire essence of engineering is to make things faster, smarter, and more efficient. If an electric drivetrain is vastly superior to a gasoline engine, why should we hold back human progress just because we enjoy the loud sound of an exhaust pipe? The U9 Xtreme has proven that the center of the automotive world has shifted. For decades, the 300-mile-per-hour club was an exclusive party for European and American brands. Nobody ever looked to the east. BYD didn't just build a fast car, they made a massive statement. They kicked open the heavy oak doors of the club and took the crown for themselves. The truth is, the rules of the game have changed forever. The record books have been completely rewritten, and whether you like it or not, the fastest production car on planet Earth right now plugs into a wall socket, not a gas pump. Now it is your turn. I want us to settle this debate right here and right now. Does the BYD Yangwang U9 Xtreme deserve the title of the absolute king? Or will the true speed record always belong to gasoline cars with a mechanical soul? Are you team gas or team electric? Thank you for watching. Subscribe so you don't miss the next video. Let me know in the comments which car to do next.